good. It was good to get in a workout. It was not as good a workout as I thought that I should do, but it seemed like incredible. And then it moved me on the inside, and that ain't nothing to sneeze at. And I've been eating them pomegranates, and if you're on like you're any type of keto, carnivore, whatever, maybe just you just want to eat something great, right? You want to eat a piece of bread, you want to eat whatever. Anyway, so I had 5 eggs, it's olive oil, and then I ate a pomegranate. I've been learning to score it, and then like get all the corn out of the middle. I just eat that corn with a fork. And the first time I ate it, I was like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, because it seems like I'm swallowing a bunch of wood. And I talked with my wife, and she's like, no, that's the way you're supposed to eat it. And then I guess you can juice it, but you don't get the pulp from chewing up the seeds. And I had one that, I mean, it was just juicy and good. I had another one, it seemed like it wasn't ripe yet, and it was a little bit bitter. And then the one today, it seemed like it had a little bit of squished, overripe, and a little bit of a blue tint to some of it. So I threw that part away. I figured that was probably it was starting to mold from being in the truck. So about 3 days, I'm doing a pomegranate a day for 3 days on a 3-day fast. And it's like a fast of realignment. It's the best I can say. I don't know. I don't know what anybody would call it. I'm just walking obediently. And I know that these 3 days were specifically set apart for something. I'm not sure. There's been a lot of revealed goodness and a lot of rededication. And I was talking with Tracy yesterday. I see this ancient grain. I guess they found it in Pharaoh's tomb or something. And then it turns out it was worldwide. And then it turns out like, you know, Big Ag doesn't want us to have it because they can't require fertilizers and all this other kind of stuff. So they don't make no money. We have access to it. It seemed like it was drought resistant and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's like CUFUR, Cufur, or something like that. They call it different things all around the world, but they found it all around the world and labeled it a weed to try to get rid of it. The reality is, humans thrived eating it for thousands of years. Even like the high up people, and like its composition was high in good amino acids and fats or something. I don't know. Nutritionally, it's pretty good. And it just looks like grass. So I see this deal, and I was looking into getting some of it. And in America, they call it tiger nuts. And so I'm trying to explain this to my wife. I'm like, you know, pomegranate corn, tiger nuts. And then there's some old boy in Kentucky that's used it to feed his turkeys. So I guess he put it out there, and the turkeys come along and they scratch a little bit because it's just a grass, but it's got little nuts underground. Similar to the way a peanut is grown. So I don't know. I figured I'd try to get some of it, see if I can plant some in my corn patch, because my corn was doing great, and then it dried out and died. So that was fun. Planted some Indian corn. It grew. It was just fine. But the store-bought seed, you get those seeds that's like pink. It didn't do it. I can't grow that stuff. It ain't no good. But did you get at the seed store? But the stuff I got from an old Cherokee woman. She reseeding itself, but you only got to plant the apple tree once. So, I don't know. But if I could get these tiger nuts going, I could totally tiger nut the country. And that would be fantastic. You know what I mean? If we all have tiger nuts to eat. And then the guy was doing the turkeys. I'm talking to Tracy, trying to explain all this, my wife. And I said, well, since they call me Chuck Jiver, they call you Gus Jiver, I guess we'll have jive turkeys. And she got one of the most genuine laughs out of that. And it really blessed her heart and blessed my heart to... It was like a moment of real Thanksgiving. Like, I was really thankful to be there for her and her for me, and have good communication that was significant, and to have that moment, though we be apart, because she's there, I'm here, whatever. It helps me to understand how God is so wonderful. And like right now, I feel Tracy's heart here with me. She's physically not beside me. And that's another aspect of being made in the image of God that is so incredible and deserving of dignity. And basic human dignity is something that, regardless of belief or action, is owed one to another. And we only give account for what we do on Judgment Day. What they did to us, that's between them and God. So I like having that separation of truth in my statements, and in my prayer and stuff like that, and giving God His due by acknowledging His creation, and that this is a person created in His image, deserving of dignity based on the fact that it's God's image and nothing else. That allows me an open door to give forgiveness, which actually heals me. I don't even have to tell you about it. I do need to restore what I can where I have gone wrong to whatever degree. If I damage anyone to any degree, I need to provide a restoration for that. And sometimes that's very difficult. And hey man, you got it coming. You know what I mean? You gotta do what you gotta do on that deal. But the times that it would cause more harm to reach out than to just let it go, you gotta ask God for discernment on that. You know what I mean? It just maybe not right now is the answer. And yeah, you gotta pine a little bit over your redemption. You know what I mean? Your restoration, and your paying what you owe. You know, everybody makes mistakes, but there's a path to right standing. There's a path to right standing. And then I see another thing today, on a totally different note, but still the same, because like it's all about God. Are you preparing your soul for the marriage supper of the Lamb? This guy said something about you don't want to show up at a black tie event wearing gym shorts. So what does your soul look like? What does your soul look like? What are you doing to get squared away with that? That's a good question. That's a good question. I like these questions. You know what I mean? Like, saying another thing. It was Ronald Reagan debating Jimmy Carter, and he asked the question. He said, "Were you better off 4 years ago than you are right now?" And they're saying that's probably how the guy got elected. It's like, you know, everybody's like, I was way better off 4 years ago. And it just resonated with them. his election was on economy. Okay. Well, I'm talking all the time about kingdom economy. You know what I mean? So I'm going to throw this out to you as you're preparing your soul, getting clothing. You don't want to be poor, blind, and naked for sure, but are you better off with or without getting closer to God? Was your life better 4 years ago than it is now? And write that down. And then, what have you done consistently? Go back over the last 5 years and just guesstimate 3 months at a time for the last 5 years. And it's just like a roadmap. You'll see exactly what you did, and if you're honest, you can see what you did and the results of that, and then compare that to how close you were to God as you were making those decisions and as you were making those executions on the decision, because that's critical too. My execution is directly based on my priorities. Directly based on my priorities. I'm terrible at trying to lose belly fat. Although I'm trying to lose belly fat, you know what I mean? And, I can get all the information and I know to work out and all this kind of stuff like that. But it's way more important for me to pay my mortgage. Way more important for me to not drive off in the ditch and die, crash in the truck. You know what I mean? It's at the utmost of importance for me. The highest priority is to do what God said, when He says it, how He says it, total obedience with just a reckless abandonment for caution. Well, how'd you get there, Skip? Glad you asked. Trust. Because I see where I was at on the bad days. And I remember what got me through. And listen to the way this is singing these psalms. And hearing this majestic music. And as it goes through and he's singing these things. Lord, that you're with me, I remember. It's pretty powerful. And the drums are all, it's like he just, I don't know, it kind of gets back like the Indians would sit around at the powwow, the stomp dance, and they'd have the big drum and they're like, hey, it's kind of that, and then it's kind of like the white guy side of me, getting back to like some type of old English. That puts off that's not the vibe I'm trying to say right now, but like
there are police reported ahead.
The real old, like when the tribe of Dan went to England. I think they called them Phoenicians or whatever. They had boats and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it really gets down to just the real lower depth of my soul. You know what I mean? Of my lineage type of deal. And so it gets all the way down in this. And there's some ought not there. And then it like injects this healing Jesus into my soul at the utmost depths, and I'm just like, wow, this is real good. It's real good, it's healing, and the creation of a new man in the inner man, and an empowerment. And I think about inner man, like I got a little stick man, a little inner stick man, and he does cartwheels and stuff. It's like, you're a real active guy. Alright, I'm going to get off here. It looks like there's a wreck up ahead, so I'm about to slow her down and pay attention. Raquel, go get him.